Hi, I'm Steven, co-founder and CIO at Quantamize, and you're watching the Quantamize Global Markets AM Preview. Stocks are directionless this morning as investors debate whether the current rally in the S&P 500 can continue. BlackRock strategists are arguing this morning that U.S. stocks are poised to rally more in calendar 2019, while also arguing that emerging market valuations are attractive. Since hitting its low on Christmas Eve, the S&P 500 has rallied 18%, staging one of the fastest recoveries on record, and has already recovered the majority of December's losses. Strategists at investment banks suggest the S&P 500 will surge another 10% if the U.S. and China can properly negotiate a trade deal. While earnings growth for the U.S. stocks is expected to drop significantly in calendar 2019, something to consider is that stocks typically rally when investors believe earnings growth troughs. According to analysis by Bloomberg, since the 1950s, U.S. stocks have averaged double-digit gains in years where earnings growth bottoms and are up 85% of the time during those periods. The NASDAQ composite has closed up for 8 straight days, but that might be coming to an end. According to the GTI Global Strength Indicator, a technical indicator measuring the upward and downward movements of closing prices to determine whether an asset is overbought or oversold, the NASDAQ composite is entering overbought territory. Just for comparison's sake, the S&P 500 and Dow Jones Industrial Average both entered overbought territory on Wednesday. Stocks listed on the New York Stock Exchange have recovered to their mid-September peak valuation. The S&P 500 still hasn't caught up, but according to the cumulative advanced decline line, after yesterday's rally, stocks listed on the NYSE have broken above their September 20th peak and point to higher stock prices in the near term. In contrast to the positive commentary I just gave about U.S. stocks, the trailing 12-month PE for the S&P 500 plus inflation suggests the U.S. benchmark index is fairly valued. Popularized by legendary investor Peter Lynch, the metric has normally hovered around 20 times going back to 1954. It is currently sitting at 20 times right now. The VIX is little change this morning, currently sitting at 15.15, with Eli Lilly out-of-the-money calls and puts, SPY out-of-the-money calls, Ford out-of-the-money calls, and EFA out-of-the-money calls, some of the most heavily traded options in the U.S. pre-market this morning. From our popular stocks trending in the news segment, Avis Budget Group reports fourth quarter adjusted EPS of 53 cents, beating consensus of 37 cents. Avis Budget Group reports fourth quarter sales of $2.1 billion, matching market forecasts of $2.05 billion. Johnson & Johnson says it's received subpoenas and inquiries from the U.S. Justice Department and the Security Exchange Commission relating to its talc baby powder products. It is alleged there is asbestos in the talc powder that can cause cancer. Johnson & Johnson faces 13,000 claims alleging the baby powder causes cancer. Nike has been the subject of ridicule on social media after basketball player Zion Williams sprained his knee after his Nike sneakers split open in the middle of a game. The player from Duke University limped off the court, and immediately Nike became the butt of endless jokes about the poor quality of its products. If you found this video helpful or informative, follow us on Twitter or subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to check out Quantamize.com for your full market preview for stocks, options, ETFs, and cryptos, and to find out what trades our AI quant models like this morning.